The Roman Republic of the 1st century BC was a society in flux. It was a time of great transformation, where the old ways of life were being challenged by new realities. The streets of Rome were filled with a diverse mix of people, from wealthy patricians to common plebeians, all navigating the complexities of a rapidly changing world. It was a time of great wealth and power for Rome, a city that had grown from a small settlement on the Tiber River to the center of a vast empire. The grandeur of Roman villas and palaces reflected the immense riches accumulated through conquest and trade. The elite lived in opulence, their lives a stark contrast to the struggles of the common people. But this era of prosperity was also marked by deep internal division. The social fabric of Rome was fraying, with citizens increasingly divided along lines of wealth, class, and political allegiance. Public forums and marketplaces became battlegrounds for heated debates and ideological clashes as different factions vied for influence and control. The old systems of government, designed for a smaller city-state, struggled to manage the vast territories Rome now controlled. The Senate, once the heart of Roman political life, found itself overwhelmed by the complexities of governing an empire. Senators debated endlessly, but their decisions often failed to address the pressing issues of the day. Political factions clashed violently in the streets. The once orderly city was now a place of chaos and conflict, where rival groups fought for dominance. Street fighting became a common sight, with Roman soldiers sometimes clashing with citizens, further eroding the sense of unity and order. Ambitious generals used their legions to further their own interests. These military leaders, once loyal servants of the Republic, now saw opportunities to seize power for themselves. They paraded their legions through the streets, showcasing their strength and ambition, and the people watched with a mix of awe and fear. The common people, burdened by poverty and inequality, grew increasingly disillusioned with the ruling class. The gap between the wealthy elite and the impoverished masses had widened into a chasm, and the promises of the Republic seemed hollow to those struggling to survive in crowded slums. Rome was a powder keg, primed for a dramatic shift in power. The tension in the air was palpable as citizens gathered in public spaces, discussing the state of the Republic and the need for change. The sense of unease was everywhere, and it was clear that something had to give. It was in this tumultuous environment that Gaius Julius Caesar would rise to prominence, forever changing the course of Roman history. Born into a patrician family, Caesar was a man of ambition and vision. He saw the potential for greatness in Rome, but also the need for reform and strong leadership. The Roman Senate, once a symbol of republican virtue, was now riven by corruption and self-interest. Senators were more concerned with their own power and wealth than with the welfare of the Republic. Their opulent sessions were marked by bitter arguments and backroom deals, further alienating the people they were supposed to serve. The gap between the wealthy elite and the impoverished masses had widened into a chasm. The luxurious villas of the rich stood in stark contrast to the crowded slums where the poor lived. This stark division fueled resentment and anger as the common people felt increasingly marginalized and ignored. The traditional values of the Republic, such as civic duty and the rule of law, were being eroded by greed and ambition. Bribery and corruption were rampant, and many Romans neglected their civic responsibilities in favor of personal gain. The ideals that had once defined the Republic were fading, replaced by a culture of self-interest and opportunism. Into this power vacuum stepped men like Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Sulla, powerful generals who used their armies to seize control of Rome, setting a dangerous precedent for the future. Their bloody conflicts demonstrated the fragility of the Republic and foreshadowed the even greater upheavals that were to come. Their bloody conflicts demonstrated the fragility of the Republic and foreshadowed the even greater upheavals that were to come. The streets of Rome ran red with blood as civil war tore the city apart. The aftermath of these battles left a lasting scar on the Republic, a reminder of the high cost of power struggles. The Republic, once the envy of the ancient world, was teetering on the brink of collapse. The symbols of Roman greatness were crumbling, and the once mighty city was showing signs of decay. The people of Rome could sense that their beloved republic was in peril, and many feared for the future. Rome was ripe for a leader who could restore order, but at what cost? The citizens yearned for stability and a return to the values that had made Rome great. They gathered in anxious crowds, discussing the need for a strong leader who could guide them through these troubled times. But they also knew that such a leader might come with a heavy price. Would it be a champion of the people, a restorer of the Republic's ideals? The people hoped for a leader who would uphold the principles of the Republic and bring about much-needed reforms. They cheered for charismatic leaders who promised to be their champions, to fight for their rights and restore the glory of Rome. Or would it be an ambitious autocrat willing to sacrifice liberty for the sake of stability? The fear of tyranny loomed large as ambitious leaders plotted to seize power for themselves. The people knew that the wrong leader could mean the end of their freedoms and the beginning of a new era of autocratic rule. The answer, in the form of Julius Caesar, was soon to emerge from the chaos. Caesar's rise to power was meteoric, and he quickly became a central figure in Roman politics. Celebrated by the public and feared by his rivals, Caesar's influence grew, and it became clear that he was destined to play a pivotal role in the future of Rome. His rise would mark not only a turning point in Roman history, but the beginning of a new era for the entire Mediterranean world. Caesar's ambitions extended beyond Rome, and his conquests would reshape the map of the ancient world. The Mediterranean, once a collection of independent states, would soon be united under the banner of Rome. The stage was set for one of the most dramatic and consequential lives in human history. Julius Caesar's journey from a young patrician to the ruler of Rome would be filled with triumphs and tragedies, battles and betrayals. His legacy would endure for centuries, shaping the course of history and leaving an indelible mark on the world. Gaius Julius Caesar was born into a patrician family, the Julii, a lineage stretching back to the very founders of Rome. This ancient heritage imbued him with a sense of destiny and purpose from an early age, a belief that he was meant for greatness. Though his family held an esteemed name, they were not particularly wealthy or influential in the late Roman Republic. The Julii had seen better days, and their current status was a far cry from the power they once wielded. This disparity between their noble lineage and their modest means was a source of both pride and frustration for young Caesar. From a young age, however, Caesar exhibited a potent mix of charm, intelligence, and ruthless ambition. His charisma was evident even in his early years, drawing people to him and making him a natural leader among his peers. He was not just a boy with dreams, he was a boy with a plan. He received a traditional Roman education, excelling in rhetoric and oratory, skills that would serve him well in the political arena. His teachers noted his exceptional ability to persuade and inspire, predicting that he would one day be a formidable force in Roman politics. Caesar's education was not just about learning, it was about preparing for a future where words could be as powerful as swords. He also honed his physical prowess, training for warfare and developing a reputation for courage and decisiveness. His time spent in physical training was not merely about building strength. It was about cultivating the discipline and resilience that would be crucial in his future endeavors. Caesar understood that a leader needed to be both mentally and physically formidable. Caesar's early life was marked by both privilege and hardship. While he enjoyed the benefits of his patrician status, he was also acutely aware of the limitations imposed by his family's financial situation. This duality shaped his character, instilling in him a relentless drive to restore his family's former glory and surpass it. He witnessed firsthand the brutality of Roman politics when his uncle Gaius Marius became embroiled in a bloody conflict with the rival general Sulla. The power struggle between Marius and Sulla was not just a political battle, it was a violent clash that tore families apart and reshaped the Roman Republic. For young Caesar, it was a harsh introduction to the realities of power. This experience exposed him to the dark underbelly of Roman power struggles and left an indelible mark on his worldview. He saw how quickly fortunes could change, how alliances could shift, and how ruthless one had to be to survive and thrive in such an environment. These lessons would stay with him, guiding his actions in the years to come. When Sulla emerged victorious, Caesar, associated with the defeated Marius, found himself a target of the dictator's wrath. Sulla's purges were swift and merciless, and Caesar's connection to Marius made him a marked man. The young Caesar had to navigate this dangerous landscape with caution and cunning. He was stripped of his inheritance and forced to flee Rome, living as a fugitive for a time. This period of exile was a test of his resilience and resourcefulness. Far from the comforts of home, Caesar had to rely on his wits and the support of loyal friends to survive. This period of exile only served to harden his resolve and fuel his burning ambition. The hardships he faced did not break him. They forged him into a stronger, more determined individual. Every challenge he overcame was a step closer to his ultimate goal. Even in exile, Caesar refused to be cowed. He continued to plot and plan, always looking for opportunities to return to Rome and reclaim his place. His time in exile was not wasted. It was a period of intense self-improvement and strategic thinking. He used his time wisely, continuing his education and honing his skills as a soldier and leader. He studied military tactics, read extensively, and trained rigorously, preparing himself for the day he could return to Rome and make his mark. Caesar's exile was a crucible that refined his abilities and sharpened his ambitions. He served with distinction in the Roman army, proving himself a capable and courageous commander. His military service was not just about gaining experience, it was about building a reputation that would precede him when he returned to Rome. Caesar's exploits on the battlefield earned him respect and recognition, crucial assets for his future political career. When he eventually returned to Rome, pardoned by Sulla, he did so not as a defeated man, but as a rising star, ready to claim his destiny. His return was a carefully orchestrated move, designed to re-establish his presence and signal his intentions. Caesar was back, and he was ready to take on the world. Caesar possessed an almost preternatural charisma, a magnetic personality that drew people to him. His ability to connect with others was unparalleled, making him a beloved figure among the masses and a respected leader among his peers. His speeches were legendary, capable of stirring the hearts and minds of those who heard them. He was known for his eloquence, his quick wit, and his ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Whether he was speaking to a senator or a commoner, Caesar had a way of making each person feel valued and understood. This skill was not just a political tool, it was a genuine aspect of his character that endeared him to many. He was also a shrewd judge of character, able to identify talent and exploit weaknesses in his opponents. His keen insight into human nature allowed him to build a network of loyal supporters and outmaneuver his rivals. Caesar's strategic mind was always at work, plotting his next move and anticipating the actions of others. These qualities, combined with his patrician lineage and growing military reputation, made him a force to be reckoned with in the cutthroat world of Roman politics. He was not just another ambitious politician. He was a formidable contender with the skills and determination to reshape the Republic. Caesar's rise was not just a personal journey, it was a seismic shift in the political landscape of Rome. Caesar was determined to not simply be a player in the game of power, but to be the one who made the rules. His ambitions were not limited to personal gain. He sought to transform the very structure of Roman governance. Caesar's vision was grand, and he was willing to do whatever it took to achieve it. He set his sights on the highest office in the Republic, the consulship, and nothing would stand in his way. His campaign was marked by strategic alliances, persuasive rhetoric, and a relentless drive to succeed. Caesar's path to the consulship was a testament to his political acumen and unyielding ambition. His path to power would be paved with both brilliant triumphs and ruthless ambition, forever altering the destiny of Rome and shaping the course of Western civilization. Caesar's legacy would be one of transformation, leaving an indelible mark on history and setting the stage for the rise of the Roman Empire. His journey from a young patrician with dreams to a leader who changed the world is a testament to the power of ambition and the relentless pursuit